Good evening.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Yes! What is the deal? My man Bananas! Congratulations on your new place. And you got a birthday coming up. So let's, we'll get to rock out on Friday. What up, party people in the place to be? A brand spanking new episode of Live from the Lab with yours truly, qunique. And I am very happy to see all of you today. It is very good to see. Let me see who's in the building. My man Gorilla Strong, of course. Yeesh K, what's the deal? And of course, Bananas. My man Mir Depp is in the house. And I see Machiavelli up in there as well. That is what is up. That is what is up. Yeesh! Yes. So here we are, brand new episode, and quite a few things have been happening in the world, but I'm probably only going to pick a couple of things to talk about. What I would like to start off with at the beginning of this episode is I just want to have a moment just to reflect on someone that the hip-hop community has lost this week, specifically the Wu-Tang Clan. And I'm referring to Oliver Power Grant. Power was, I've been fortunate to have met Power, and I gotta tell you, man, if you've been seeing posts about him on several different social apps, his reputation is spot on. He was a good dude, a lot of wisdom, very encouraging, very inspirational. He'll talk to you no matter where you are on the totem pole. And he had a way of making everyone feel like we were all on the same level. What he's done for Wu-Tang is, oh my goodness, everything from helping them kickstart. He was one of their executive producers when they started Wu-Wear, and I'm sure he has done a whole bunch of other things behind the scenes for Wu-Tang. But yeah, man, he was a good dude, and it was one of those things that, life be lifing, and I send my condolences first and foremost to his family, his loved ones, and of course the entire Wu-Tang family. So all of us, let's just have a moment, just a minute of silence for the great Power. Okay. Thank you for that, guys. I appreciate that. Salute to Power. Hello. One time. 1, 2. Oh, shit. I unplugged my headphones. There we go. Okay, so where we at today? Yes, Gorilla, yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, I appreciate that. And of course, Bananas, I just want to thank you for your support. Of course, all of you, thank you for your support in advance with the super chats, the super stickers, the super gifts. If this is your first time watching the show and you kind of dig what I do, whether it's the show itself or my music, videos, whatever have you, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the notification button so you know what's going on with the latest. And I thank you in advance. Also, if you want to show any further support, just go to qunique.com, q-unique.com, and everything is there from the latest updates and news to music, videos, merch, and everything is there all under one roof. So I thank you in advance for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Bananas. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I had a rep today for Power and the whole Wu family with the Shaolin shirt, the New York State of Mind's Nas Wu-Tang hat. But anyway, let's just get into it. So today's book report. Yo, Stutters, I need my phone. It's right there on the charger over there. Just really quick, please, Stutters, when you get a chance. You know I'm gonna bother you. Thank you, Stutters. I appreciate that. So today's report, what I would like to talk about is word bananas. That would be sick. Oh, actually, I did that, bananas. I spoke about that. Was it the last episode or the episode before that? So just really quick, bananas. I did a song with Raekwon. It's called Cup of Tea. And I believe, let me get the exact location of that song, because I put out a 2-album quick series called the Legacy Series. And I'll tell you right now where it's at. I believe it's on here. I'll tell you right now. So yes, so it is on this album right here, the Legacy Series Volume 2. The song is called Cup of Tea. It's myself and Raekwon. And just to reiterate one more time, the whole song came together because of my good homie, Vinny Ponte, who was actually a close friend of Power, who had hooked up the whole scene. And make a long story short, Vinny was the one that connected me with Raekwon and enabled us to do a song together. So much love to my brother, Vinny. My man, Gorilla! Thank you, Gorilla. Yo, Gorilla, son, I'm telling you, man, I gotta give you one of these. It's Vinny Ponte, but shout out to Vinny Paz. The person that hooked me up with Raekwon, his name is Vinny Ponte. And if you're a skater head, specifically in the New York City history of skating, he's an OG on that planet, in that world. So much love to Vinny Ponte. My man Jay Freedom is in the building. What's going on, baby? Let me make sure this doesn't fall, because that would be a tragedy. Mere Depp. All good, bananas. All good. So I wanted to talk about a magazine that at one point, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check it. 1 2. There we go. I just want to make sure. At one point, this magazine had become what many considered the hip hop Bible, and it started out amazingly. Let me show you. Let me see if I don't know if you could see this really well, but it started out as a newsletter. There we go. This is the very first issue of The Source. It was like a sheet or 2 sheets, and it started out as a newsletter, amazingly. And from what I understand, John Schechter and David Mays. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Okay, here we go. Boom. So John Schechter and David Mays were. Excuse me. Hold up. Sorry about that. So John Schechter and David Mays were Harvard University students that loved hip hop, and they were doing a radio show, from what I understand, and then from there they started doing that Source newsletter, and then it unfolded into this force of nature in hip hop, specifically towards the end of the 80s, all of the 90s, and then into the early 2000s. It was a very informative, very important magazine for the hip hop cult. Man, I keep on doing this. For the hip hop culture. Obviously, specifically more rap than anything, but it definitely highlighted rap first, and then after that, DJing, graffiti, some breaking, but rap was always at the helm of what was happening, rap and DJing. And then the culture itself, whether it was fashion or art, they just did a lot of cool things. And they became really famous for their mics, which they would give in reviews. So basically, there was 5 mics meant you had a classic, and then, you know, so on and so forth. The lower you went, the worse your situation was. Let me just make sure I give you some more. So David Mays and John Schechter, they had a radio show called Street Beat on the college radio station WHRB. And they, the first issue was something that they typed on David Mays' personal Macintosh computer, and they funded it with $200 of their own money. $200. They made an investment. What up, 07? What's going on? What's the deal, homie? New Zealand, right? I think you're from New Zealand, if not Australia. But salute, welcome, welcome, welcome. Exactly, Mirdep. So just think of that for a second. Let's think of it. For those that remember the source and how important it became, to think that the whole thing started with a $200 investment into a newsletter is just pure insanity. So what I have here, I have a collection of the source. I have a few issues. I'm gonna take some out of the bag here. This is an early issue. This, what's the year on this? This is from 1990. This is the source from 1990. We got LL Cool J on the cover. And in the back, we got an advertisement for Fresco and DJ Miz. It's just, look at that, man. It's just amazing. They already had the mic, and as you could see, it was very simple back then, almost mostly black and white. There's the Ghetto Boys right there. Some advertisements. NWA advertisement, really cool stuff, man. I'm just gonna dig through it now as I show you covers, and if you want me to open any specific magazine and just thumb through it, show you some of the highlights, just let me know, man, because there's definitely a lot. Look at it, like an article on the Jungle Brothers. Like, this is some like nostalgia. Look, Power Rule, for those that remember Power Rule. Smooth, because I don't get upset. Smooth. Just, you know, what made me hold on to this was the fact that I knew that history, like any other magazine, like for instance, I don't save a lot like I used to, but I definitely have a lot of music magazines, and when you look back, it's like you're basically looking at history at that point, because like something like this, obviously hip hop and rap have changed dramatically. Here's some of their ratings before they had mics. It was like a broken, like a record or something, you see, as you could see. And on this one, they gave Too Short Dogs in the House, the album, they gave it 3.5, what we would consider mics now. Cool C only got 3. Granddaddy IU got 3. Look, see, this is what I mean. Like, bad review, they gave King T 2.5. So obviously there was something that they weren't feeling. Kid Frost, they gave 2.5. Dana Dane, they were rough, man, even with the legends. Grand Poobah and the Brand Nubians got 4. Wait, here we go. So as a single, Terminator X and the Valley of the Jeep Beats, Got to Be Dancing, Buck Wildin', they got 5 mics. Boom. So that's this issue from 1990 with LL Cool J on the cover, The Source, 1990. Really cool stuff, man. Yeah, exactly, 07, exactly. You know the deal. You know the deal. Oh, okay, 07, my bad. I apologize for that. Yes. Thank you for correcting me. Australia, I won't forget. So '07, it's dope that you bring that up. So the Arsonists, my group, the Arsonists, we were on the cover of the very first Stealth magazine, which was a massive honor for us. And maybe about a year or two later, I ended up writing for Stealth. I would do just every once in a while, I would just, come up with a cool article and just write it out for them and send it over to the editor, and they would handle it. So aside from the Arsonist, I used to actually write for Stealth magazine. So it's dope that you bring that up. JMV, what's the deal, homie? Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's what's up, '07. So I'm gonna keep on digging into these Source magazines. So hang, we're gonna have some fun with this. Now here's another early. Now this one, a year after. This is the Source 1991. This cover is crazy because it's Paris, Lakim Shabazz, and Big Daddy Kane on the Source cover. Like, this is like some real OG throwback. Look in the back, Stetsasonic advertisement for the album Blood, Sweat, and No Tears. Just an amazing, like, look, like the EPMD got the hip hop quotable. They gave Unsigned Hype to Top Quality. I don't remember him, but that's so cool. Like, he's forever engraved into this history, you know what I mean? And, the Source was very black and white back then, man. Look at, like, you could send in to get your subscription. Just really cool stuff, man. They gave Big Daddy Kane's, oh, look at this. So they gave Brand Nubian's album 5 mics, and Big Daddy Kane, he got 4 mics. Pretty cool, man. That's the Source 1991, March, April. Really cool stuff, man. So as the Source got bigger, what ended up happening was they ended up becoming like an authority. And at times, it's funny because when you think about it, when they were giving reviews when they started, like with those magazines I'm showing you, it mattered, but it didn't matter as much, excuse me, as they got more and more powerful. Once they got powerful, people were scrambling to get 4 to 5 mics. And what I remember was sometimes certain artists, if they knew, like, it got to the point where artists would send their music in and they would say to the editor or whoever was reviewing, listen, if you're not going to give me a favorable review, I don't even want the review. That's how scary it got for a lot of artists, man. So just to give y'all a little behind the scenes stuff, like it got to the point where they got so powerful that their word meant almost everything, which is fascinating when you think about it, because these were basically, to the community, these were faceless people. And so when you really think about it, the magazine, the Source, everything about it had gained so much power that it commanded this level of reverence and fear almost, because everybody wanted 4 to 5 mics. And it's crazy because I'm going to show you some of the things where myself and the Arsonists had been mentioned in the Source several times and several different occasions. And I think I also have our review in there. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the things I have. So here's one right now. What we have here is, this is the Source reviewing the very first qunique single, which was, I believe this is The Ugly Place. I can't see it from here, but that's the Source giving me a review. And I remember at that point, this is about 2004, the Source was changing dramatically at that point. And a lot of other magazines, XXL and Blaze and all of these other magazines were kind of doing their best to level the playing field. And it became a very interesting situation. And others, like smaller magazines, On the Go and Subculture, Stealth, HHC over in England. So it was like all of these magazines were kind of like battling for that for that slot, you know? So that's one of the things that I've seen happen for the source. Here's another one for me. Another one where they added me to Fat Tape, which was pretty cool. Let me keep on scrolling by. Now, here's an interesting one. '07, my favorite piece of memorabilia. That's a dope question. Above me, I have a set list from Alice in Chains. When I went on tour with Alice in Chains and Korn, I had the honor of watching them every night. And so, and they've, if you know anything about my, you know, how I feel about rock music, my favorite subgenre has always been grunge. And so Alice in Chains is obviously one of my all-time favorite bands. And so to be able to tour with Korn and see them every night. Anyway, one of my friends got the set list, had it framed with Jerry Cantrell's pick. That's one of my favorites. These Source magazines behind me are extremely important because what you see behind me is this one right here is the Source with De La Soul on the cover. And fortunately for me, I got every member of De La Soul to sign the cover, and including Trugoy. So that obviously is something that you just don't want to, I had to have it framed. And then right next to it, beneath it, is the Source with Gangstar. And I got both Guru, may he rest in peace, and Primo to sign that. And then above that, the great KRS-One signed an early issue of when he was on the cover of the Source. So that's some of the stuff that I have, man. I got so much more. Things that pop out, like the Wu-Tang coin that I have, or man, I could go on for days, but I gave you a mention of some of my favorites right there, and so that's the deal with that. Thank you for that question. Thank you, Gorilla. I appreciate that. One time, 1 2 1 2. Check. Oh, yeah, exactly, JM. And I didn't save all of them either, and I got rid of a lot of vinyl, and you know, sometimes things move around, but which Gorilla, I'm not sure which album should have had a 10 mic instead of a 5. I'm not sure. I kind of lost where you went with that. Yeah, I mean, I like the 5 mics too. I can't say that I agree with every 5 mics that were given out, depending on the type of album it was or artist. But usually they got it. So there's actually a list here. Check this out. Y'all tell me. Let me. So. This is a list of the Source's 5 mic albums, supposedly. I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm going to read the names, and y'all tell me if, oh, I got you. You're right, Gorilla. I got you. It should have been 10, and then, right. So, People's Instinctive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm by A Tribe Called Quest got 5 mics. Edutainment by Boogie Down Production, 5 mics. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em by Eric B. and Rakim. America's Most Wanted by Ice Cube. One for All, which we just saw. De La Soul is Dead by De La Soul. The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. Illmatic by Nas. Life After Death, Notorious B.I.G. Aquemini by Outkast. The Blueprint, Jay-Z. Stillmatic by Nas. The Fix by Scarface. The Naked Truth, Lil Kim. Trillo G, Bun B. And My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. Now, I don't know if you agree with everything that I said, but now check this out. This is where it gets so this is where it gets interesting. So the next paragraph says, albums that were not rated upon their releases, but were later rated 5 mics in 2002. So the first Run DMC album, Run DMC, they gave it 5 mics. I think it came out, I guess, in the early 80s. And so they gave Run DMC, they ended up giving that early 80s Run DMC album 5 mics in 2002. So that's this particular part of the story. LL Cool J's first album, Radio, 5 mics. The Beastie Boys' first album, License to Ill, 5 mics. Raising Hell by Run DMC. Criminal Minded by Boogie Down Productions. I agree with that one. I agree with everything so far. Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. By All Means Necessary by Boogie Down Productions. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, Public Enemy. Long Live the Kane, Big Daddy Kane. Critical Beatdown, Ultramagnetics. Straight Out the Jungle, Jungle Brothers. Strictly Business, EPMD. The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. Straight Outta Compton, NWA. No One Could Do It Better, The DOC. All Eyes on Me, Tupac. I think the only one that I would add to that is Ready to Die, Biggie Smalls. I didn't see it get 5 mics. I thought that was a 5 mic album, personally. Not because of fandom, it just makes sense to me. And one, what's going on? That's what's up. Thank you, baby. Yes, Gorilla, and that's the other thing. It's like, it's probably better to allow people to marinate on that. As an artist, we think you guys should marinate on our work and give it time. And it's crazy because I feel like in today's music, it's become a lot more challenging for people to just listen to an album from what I'm seeing. I'm not saying you guys, I'm just saying overall, the overall consensus, it looks like it's more challenging for people to get through an album. But I could be wrong. There's so much information flying around that it's hard to detect what the truth is anymore. I don't know. You guys tell me, do you guys find it more difficult to get through an album these days? Or do you find it just as easy as when you started listening to music? Let me know. I'm curious, man. Yeah, What's Wrong with Bill should be it should be a 10 mic. So check this out. They also have a list of albums that initially they gave it 4.5 mics, and then later on, they changed the rating, which I don't know if that's cool, or I guess it is. It's all dependent on the person that's seeing it. I guess it's cool. But these are albums that in the beginning, they gave them 4.5, and then as years went by, like my man Gorilla said, they probably marinated on the album, what they did, or everything about it. And so here's the ones that they changed the ratings. Breaking Atoms by The Main Source. That makes sense. Death Certificate by Ice Cube. Yes. The Chronic, Dr. Dre. Can you believe it? They had to upgrade the rating on that one. Enter the Wu-Tang. It started out as a 4.5, then they gave it a 5. Look, Ready to Die, there it is. They did end up giving it a 5. The infamous Mobb Deep, they gave it a 5. Only Built for Cuban Links, Raekwon. And 2001, Dr. Dre. That's so wild that those albums that most of us consider iconic, they had to upgrade their rating. It's so bizarre, man. But that, sometimes it just bees like that, right? So that's the deal. So getting back. Thank you, man. Thank you. Corn, what's going on? Corn 999. Welcome. Sorry, man. Where are we? Liquid Swords is a 10, is a 5 micer for sure. So as we're doing this, you know, some of y'all know, we've talked about it, some of the work I've done early in my career, including Crazy Legs getting me the gig for CNC. And that would be the time that I got my first write-up in The Source. And this is it right here, 1991. I was still a kid. And I was geeking. So they gave me this nice review in The Source for what I wrote for CNC, which is whatever. But that's the deal with that. Then from there, my first time being in The Source was this image here was for the Wild Style reunion. And then one of my earlier solo shows before I had the Nomads, that's me. That was the first DJ for the Nomads, Mel Ice. May he rest in peace. He's greatly missed, my brother Mel Ice. That's my homie Lex. And of course, my big brother Crazy Legs, in which was my first, I guess, these are like my first early appearances in the Source back in the day. And so that was a trip to come across that again, man. It was really weird. Yeah, there's a lot missing on the list for sure. Midnight Marauders, Jay Freedom, I think only got 4.5 or 4, which is crazy. How about the Heralds of Extreme Metaphor? As far as how many mics did they get, I'm not sure. There's so many groups that it's kind of hard to. Thank you, Squirrel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. So getting back to what I was showing you, here's another one where now the Arsonists, we got a little right up in the Source. You know, they started talking about us slowly but surely in the Source, and this is one of our earlier appearances in the Source. And then after that, they gave us Best Buys. As you can see right here, our album, As the World Burns, made it on the Source Best Buy list, which for us in the Arsonists, as an underground rap group, that was a massive victory for us. So, you know, that was a sick moment for us. I think that's all I got in here. Yeah. There's other things that I had that I couldn't find. So they did give us, which was called the mic check section. They did a 2 to 3 page spread on the Arsonists. And then there was also this editorial, which was really bizarre. And I spoke about this on Wordsworth's show, his podcast, where the Source at its peak, or even for the Arsonists, and they had an editorial where they were talking about how hip hop had gained this massive division. And the way they verbally described it, they said on one side you have Puffy or Diddy and what he does, and then on the other side you have the Arsonists. And when we saw our names as the polar opposite, and the way they were comparing us, and that we were used as the measurement of what side you were going to go as far as hip hop, for us, it was just so dope to be mentioned like that in a magazine like that. So, you know, that was a crazy experience for us, man. Well, no. 07, Lord Finesse is still with us. We just celebrated his birthday a couple of days ago. He was out here in LA. I saw him for his birthday. And actually, I could give you a quick review. It was nuts. So I don't know how Finesse pulled it off, but they did a whole birthday party for Lord Finesse. It was thrown by Russell Peters. It was at the, what the hell is the name of that? There's the Regent in downtown LA, and it was packed, and KRS showed up, Sadat X, Psycho Les, Nice and Smooth, Rascass, Peter Guns, Boogie Blind, and I think that's it. I'm probably missing 1 or 2 artists, but it was amazing. It was an amazing party, and happy belated birthday, now that I'm saying it on here, to the great Lord Finesse, ladies and gentlemen. Very important, very important. Yeah, my man Scott Stallone. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend Scott Stallone is up in the chat. I told you, I speak about this brother every now and again. Scott Stallone, one of the top, in my opinion, Scott, I'ma say it. One of the top producers, engineers, mixers, whatever you want to, those kind of titles, artists, talented artists. He's worked with a variety of artists, but for the hip hop audience, Vinnie Paz, Jedi Mind Tricks, Army of the Pharaohs, Ill Bill, La Coca Nostra, yours truly, qunique, just to name a few. Just to name a few. And you can look him up. His resume is crazy, but I gotta give you flowers, Scott. Got mad love for you. You are amazing at what you do. It's not always easy to find a person with your skill set, and I'm glad that I know you. So, ladies and gentlemen, love for Scott Stallone, man. Nah, it's all good, 07. That shit happens all the time, man. That shit happens all the time. Of course, Scott, of course. So, unfortunately for the source, and y'all, you know, I think in any situation, when you're running a magazine, it's not a straight trajectory. It's not. Even magazines like Rolling Stone got it wrong, right? The Rolling Stone used to beat the shit out of Led Zeppelin in the reviews, and I believe that they did the same for Black Sabbath and all of these iconic bands. I think where the source probably started to derail was a lot of behind the scenes corruption, reviews. You know, you start hearing rumors and stuff. Now, I don't want to harp on it because the truth is, I think every publication has gone through moments of either corruption or just missing the mark or not fully grasping what they're doing, or the scene is moving so fast that you're trying to catch up and you just get overwhelmed. I can't call it with any of these magazines or zines or newsletters or whatever have you. But I don't think that should ever take away from the overall importance of the source. So here's another one. This is a crazy one. This is what I mean. Like, see, what I loved about the source was that they were fair in many ways. Like, for instance, look at this cover here. Look at this cover. That's Pharaoh, Black Thought, and Mos Def on the cover of what is considered one of the most important hip-hop magazines on the planet. Now, why is this significant? Because it's not just radio. It's not just the most popular. These are who we all consider some of the greatest lyricists of all time. And there they are on the cover. You know what I mean? So at least for quite some time, the source kind of kept the playing field kind of balanced. I don't, you know, like, obviously I didn't work there, so I don't know the inner workings, but when I see things like this, I'm satisfied. There's a balance there, you know what I mean? So, you know, okay, I'm just making sure I'm paying attention. So here's some of the cool things about this. This is the editorial that I spoke about where they, hold up, something's happening and Stutters told me what to do. Yo, Stutters, that echo came back and I'm trying to find that thing you showed me. The give me a second, y'all. It's a little bit of this one. There we go. Yo, this thing my machine, my machine be just thinking for itself. So this is the editorial that I told you about earlier, where they used the arsonist and Puffy as the polar opposites. And the paragraph says, every month fighting the good fight to cover a hip hop market that grows in multiple directions, over and underground, pop sheen and hardcore reactionary, Puff Daddy and the arsonist. That, you know what I mean? Like, that shit is amazing to me, man. Like, yeah, like the way they played that was really cool. And we didn't expect that. We didn't know that was going to happen. And obviously, here's a little mention, little image of the arsonist right there. They gave us a little mention. Whose underground is it anyway? And then back here, let me see what we got back here. Let me see, let me make sure here. They gave the arsonist lunchroom takeout. They put it in fat tape. They really liked that song from our first album. So pretty cool, man. You know, some really cool experiences, man. Andrea, what's going on? Who else we got? Yo, Machiavelli, peace to you. Have a great, great day, and I'll see you Friday. Thank you, Scott. Right? It's crazy. And for us, it was surreal because as kids in the arsonist, we all, you know, we would all get like 1 or 2 issues and share it amongst ourselves. But it was one of those things like to go from just somebody that buys the magazine, reads it, daydreams. It was all a dream. I used to read the Source magazine. You know, like I know he said Word Up magazine, but you get what I'm coming with. It's like that Biggie Smalls, you know, you're reading and he said Word Up magazine. I was reading the Source. And to go from being just a reader to seeing my face, my group, my name, all of that in the magazine, it was surreal. And then for them to compare us like that, it's just amazing, man. Here's more issues that I have. Public Enemy on the cover right there. Ice Cube on the cover right there. If you guys see anything you want me to crack open, just let me know. This is a nice cover right here. EPMD. It's crazy, right? Like this is history. You know what I mean? Like it says in the corner, BDP Live. You probably won't see that on a magazine cover ever again. You know, everybody has their moment. And for me at the time, I didn't know that, you know, you don't expect things to run out or stop or whatever have you. And so to see it come to an end and then to go back and review these things is just, it's bizarre. You know, it's surreal. This is a crazy cover right here. Let me show you this one. Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, and Kool Herc hip hop history issue. This one I wish I would have gotten signed. Q-Tip, Fife, and Ali, Tribe Called Quest. This is a beautiful cover right here, but yeah, this is historic, this cover right here, you know. And as you can see, the Source was trying their best to not only deal with today's artists, but at the same time, always give flowers, always pay homage, always educating the new reader or the new fan as to what was going on in hip hop or what they missed. And so that was the beauty of the Source at the time. You know what I mean? Thank you for that. Thank you for that, JMV. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, Jay. You know, Jay Freedom, it's one of those things where there's gonna be a moment where I'm gonna look at these and just trip out, like just slowing down and read it. But right now, I just have them in the box. And today, I just want to share this with you because there's so many ways of seeing what went down. And obviously, it's not all going to be accurate. I think that the Source was awesome. I'm not sure how accurate it was all the time, but it was dope. You know what I mean? It was really dope. And so was XXL, and so was Blade. I think all of the magazines were dope. I just think that hip hop or rap music has gotten so big that it becomes a lot more challenging to cover, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a journalist, and I never even had the desire to run a magazine. So I don't know the ultimate wiring of, you know, what goes on, but I think that the Source in particular did such a good job. And for me, like I said, I've been fortunate and blessed enough not only to have my face, my name up in the source, but Crazy Legs invited me and Tony Touch to go to the Source Awards one year, so I got to experience that as well, which was very surreal. And just watching the Source evolve from a newsletter to this full-blown company where they were doing award shows, and I think they released a compilation album, and I'm not sure if they ever got into film or TV. They probably did, but and like I said at the beginning of this, remember, it started with a $200 investment for a newsletter. Let's look at this again. Seriously, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is how the Source started, man. That is just amazing. It's just, when you think about it. And yes, Jay Freedom. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, man. And so I see, so bananas, I do see loose issues of the Source on eBay, and I'm sure you could buy it anywhere else where you could get like back issues of magazines and stuff. Some of the issues are pretty pricey. Some of them just average maybe 10, 20 bucks. And so you could definitely find a lot of back issues. I've actually entertained the thought of selling my collection. I got a pretty cool collection of it. And as you could see, I kept it in the plastic, like a comic book in the plastic, just to try to fight time with it and all of that. But I'm not sure. At one point, I was gonna donate it to they were doing a hip hop exhibit, and I had asked, like, should I donate all? And I forgot why, but I ended up not doing it. And then I thought about selling them, but then I ended up not doing that. And so now I still have the whole like collection of them, man. Yes, Eminem was in the Source. He was, and unfortunately, what's sad is that in Eminem's case, obviously there was a rivalry going on with certain members of the Source and Eminem, and so it kind of like threw a little dirt on his name. And they did some, that's when it just got a little, look, man, I don't know anybody personally. I don't know Eminem personally, and I don't know members of the Source personally. So I'm not gonna badmouth anybody. For me, as a reader, as the person in the middle that's reading it, it was just a turnoff either way. And it was unfortunate because when as we're talking about this magazine and how beautiful it was and how important it was to so many of us, to see it arrive at a crossroad where, there's an artist that doesn't mesh well with some of the people that own the Source, whatever, and then everybody's airing out dirty laundry in public. It's just like, not what, I didn't come here for this. That's my mentality. I came here to read really well-written articles, check out your reviews, check out whatever else is going on, and that's it. I don't want to hear, I guess, when it comes to journalism of that nature, it's not my thing. It's not some people dig it. I don't care for it. No, but you know what I mean? Like 07, a little, I don't want to embellish on it, but they dug up some dirt on Eminem, and then Benzino and Eminem started going at it. Of course, who was the more dominating force, but I don't know these people, so I'm not going to talk out of pocket. I don't know Benzino. I don't know anybody else that was working with him in the Source, and I don't know Eminem like that. So it's like, it's not my place to talk shit on anybody. So that's why I use words like Lil this and Lil that, because I don't want to embellish on it. Because in hindsight, it probably helped Eminem, on top of the fact that Eminem is arguably one of the biggest rappers, if not top 5 biggest rappers on the planet, right? So it is what it is, man. Exactly. You get what I'm saying. Yes, 07. So right now on qunique.com, So we're gonna pause because my man 07, you know what I mean? So on qunique.com, wait, I could go here, I think. Yes. So on qunique.com, I think y'all can see it. So when you go to the homepage on qunique.com, the first thing that pops up is the new single that drops this Friday. And it's the project, it's the album, it's the start off of the album that I'm doing with DJ Repmatic. And this is the first single, Cypher Up. You can pre-save it. It'll be out tomorrow at midnight, so you might as well pre-save it now. Also, my first show announcement of this year, where I'll be rocking out at Denver, Colorado on May 23rd. Some merch, Spotify, you know, Apple and whatever have you. And then if you go to the shop, you could see we got some throwback merch that you could get signed. We got a limited amount of Vengeance Is Mine CDs, and we have a limited amount of the Mechanic CD. We also have Vengeance Is Mine posters and Between Heaven and Hell posters. All of those things you could get signed. So that's the deal with that. Let me get back here. So that's the deal with that. On top of the fact that switching gears now, because my man 07 got me hyped. No, I got you, 07. I appreciate that, man. Surge, what's going on? Damn, that sucks, man. Thank you for that, Surge. I hate hearing stuff like that, especially after we opened up the show with Power. And, you know, we look, life be lifing, and we all are aware of this. It's still sad, you know, and I don't wish death on nobody, nor any harsh sickness. So, you know, prayers for anyone that's going through it. So this Friday, where we at? Okay, this Friday, the first single of the qunique Repmatic album drops. We got the video done, myself and Repmatic. We're extremely excited. This adventure is beginning. And like I said, you could pre-save it there. You can hit the link in the bio, pre-save it there. But on Friday, we'll definitely be having fun with that, you know, and reviewing and getting your little gist if you want, or if you prefer to marinate, which is what I prefer. It's only one song though, so you can marinate as long as you want. And just a heads up, the way me and Repmatic are gonna do this is one song at a time, every 3 to 4 weeks. So after this one drops, this next single we actually had to move down a little bit. So the next single after that drops March 27th. But for Cypher Up, we got a music video drop. We got all types of stuff, some live performances and whatever have you. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you, Yeesh. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Gorilla. Oh, word. Oh, 7. Yeah, I know the deal. Thank you, Scott. So when you buy the link, it'll ask you for specific instructions. But because I know you're coming from Australia, when the person tells me that the order has been made, I'll go over to the office and I'll sign. Because I get updated on where things are going, who ordered what. And if I put the call and be like, yo, tell me if an order comes through from Australia, then it'll get handled. So I got you either way. That's the deal. Jay Freedom. I am very excited about this album. I don't want to say too much about it, but the fact that we're just getting the engine started. Oh, what I was saying is because, you know, you guys have pointed out some interesting facts about getting a whole album. And I like what Homie said about because, you know, people aren't buying physically, that's probably part of the problem. And I think I might agree with you on that. So being that myself and Rhett understand this, what we're doing is, like I said, we're going to release a song every 3 to 4 weeks. And hopefully that'll be all 10. And at the end of all 10, they'll be all collected in one album, and then you'll be able to. But for now, so you get to marinate on every single song and show every song love, we want to release them individually, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, and just take it from there. So that's the deal with that. So what I'd like to do, wait, where are we at? So 07, it releases Thursday at midnight. So you'll be able to hear it way before I do the live feed. And obviously I'll be doing posts tomorrow to get everybody ready. And hopefully, I mean, let me slow down, man. I almost got just know that tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, for the next whatever have you, I'm gonna be talking about this song, because this song, in part, look, I love all the songs. This song in particular, I picked as the start off because I was excited about it, everything about it. I'll give you a look. No, I'll let you listen to it first, get into it. Remember, DJ Repmatic produced the track, did the cuts, and yours truly spit the verses. And just to segue into that, what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna perform the song again for y'all. We're gonna get in the booth, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm gonna perform the song and get y'all fucking hype for Cypher Up from qunique and DJ Repmatic. So before we go there, once again, if this is your first time watching me on Live from the Lab, please like and subscribe. We do 2 live feeds a week from today, Wednesdays, and on Fridays we do Friday Vibes with Q. Hit that notification button. Thank you for your support with the super chats, the super stickers, the super gifts. And of course, hit up qunique.com, q-unique.com for everything that I do. It also got the tabs for all the social media apps and all of that good stuff. So that's the deal with that. Hey, yo, Stutters, we ready to get into the booth, son. So, yo, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to go in the booth. We about to do this Cypher Up shit. So let us go. What am I pressing here? What am I pressing there? One, two. Check it. Y'all can hear me, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I'm in the dark, son. I'm in the dark, son. There we go. 1, 2, y'all. Yeah.